got a lot of CRISPR for Christmas.
I'm going to call the regular meeting of the Board of Aldermen to order on Thursday, December 26th, 2024, 7:30 p.m. in the Aldermanic Chamber, which has been duly noticed in 2 places, including the city's website, in accordance with the requirements of RSA 91A. The prayer will be offered tonight by City Clerk Dan Healy, and Alderman Gouveia will lead us in the pledge to the flag.
Almighty God, we have the high honor and the serious duty to manage the affairs of our beloved city. Fill us, O God, with a spirit of unity and understanding which enables us to face our multiple problems with a serene mind, with justice and charity for all, so that any and all decisions made by us will always be for the betterment and greater happiness of all our fellow citizens. So help us God. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, I hope you all had a great holiday, a great Christmas. Let's start the meeting by taking a roll call attendance, please.
Alderman O'Brien.
Present.
Alderwoman Timmons.
Here.
Alderman Moran. Alderman Thibodeau.
Here.
Alderman Gouveia.
Here.
Alderman Lopez. Alderman Sullivan.
Here.
Alderman Clemmons. Alderman Senate.
Here.
Alderman Jettie.
Here.
Alderman Tebow.
I am here and I'm at home due to being ill, and I do not want to get any of you sick. And I'm in an office, door closed, nobody in the room.
Alderman Clee.
Here.
Alderman Dowd.
Present.
Alderwoman Kelly. Alderman Wiltshire.
Here.
11 present, 4 absent.
Thank you. Also with us this evening is Mayor Jim Donches and Corporation Counsel Steve Bolton. Mayor, did you wish to address the board this evening?
Yes, thank you, Madam President. Well, first, I hope everyone here in the chamber and throughout our community is having a great holiday season. I know I've enjoyed having the ability to spend time with the family, and I'm sure you have as well. We are now finishing the first year of this term, going into 2025, and I believe that in 2025, again, we'll be able to work together to move Nashua forward, to improve our community, because I know here in city government, the Board of Aldermen, everybody is committed to that common goal. I wanted to mention just a couple of things, Madam President. First of all, you may have seen the publicity and good news that the number of overdoses and the number of overdose fatalities in Nashua is at the lowest level since the statistics have been kept since 2015. So since 2015, AMR, the ambulance company, has been keeping track of how many overdose incidents we have and the number of fatalities. We were very involved with them during the period when we operated the Safe Stations program along with the fire department. That responsibility was assumed by the state program, the so-called Gateway. But in any event, the AMR has been keeping these statistics, and with 184 overdoses so far during 2024, and 1 death is too many, but 21 is our number so far, compared with much higher numbers in earlier years. I think the peak was about 44. So so that's good news that the amount of tragedy as a result of opioids and fentanyl and everything that's going on is at a lower level than it has in the past. And finally, Madam President, I wanted to mention and congratulate Elisa Drift, who is a businesswoman, small business here in Nashua. She opened the restaurant just about a block away at the corner of Elm and West Pearl called Local Street Eats. She opened it within the last few weeks. It seems like it's been going very well. She's been involved in the restaurant industry in Nashua for a long time. She and her husband, Joe, operated Saffron Bistro, which was on Main Street. She then went on to work in a number of restaurants, and now I think is very excited to have opened her own restaurant. And having been there, I think it's a great addition to Nashua's downtown. So I wanted to congratulate her. And I know, Madam President, that we have a recognition in a couple of minutes, or maybe, and so we'll be recognizing who I know is in the audience with her family, Grace Gonsalves, who is the Kid Executive Counselor for District 5 for Nashua, and the district that we're part of. So I'm looking forward to that. And that's all I have, Madam President.
Thank you, Mayor. Responses to the remarks of the mayor. Alderman O'Brien.
Thank you, Madam President. Mr. Mayor, I found, I read the emails that come out from the AMR representative, Chris Staywaz, and if I could share a brief story, but when I was still working on the fire department, remember going to an overdose call, and the boyfriend of the lady who was overdosing hands me 4 needles. He says, you don't need these anymore. I don't think I think we made inroads in this, but I don't think the battle is won yet. And I think if we can continue as a city to support this, I think we might win that battle and wipe the streets, the scourge of the opiates that are out there. So I congratulate you, Mr. Mayor, and all that have worked towards this. Thank you very much.
Anyone else? Seeing none? Recognition period. I'm going to turn this over to Mayor Donchis.
All right, so Grace, you should just come on up here, and we're going to give you a little recognition here. I think this works. Hopefully. Yes, come on up here. Now, do you feel confident enough or too shy to introduce your family? Could you do that? Because I know you've got, so you've got your father, your mother, and your sister, I see.
Yeah.
So tell us their names.
So my dad's name is Christopher Gonsalves. My sister's is Hannah Gonsalves, and my mom's is Megan Gonsalves. Those are their names.
All right, well, that's very good. So we have this formal recognition which we're going to give you. And it says, whereas the Kid Governor program empowers 5th graders to change the world with a groundbreaking approach to civics education that immerses students in a real election for their state's Kid Governor, a fellow 5th grader who will represent them during a 1-year term of active leadership. Whereas the Kid Executive Council is led by the Kid Governor and is comprised of the final candidates from the 2025 statewide election. They will counsel and advise 2025 Kid Governor-elect Jade Adams of Wells Memorial School in Harrisville throughout her term. They will meet to discuss how they can support Jade's campaign initiative to make New Hampshire the 13th state to ban animal testing. And whereas after having won the Bicentennial Elementary School's primary election to represent them as their Kid Governor candidate, Grace, who campaigned on a platform focusing on decreasing smoking and vaping, very, very good, will serve a 1-year term of advising and counseling, working with New Hampshire's Kid Governor affiliate organization to fulfill Kid Governor-elect Adams' campaign platform and encourage students to make a difference in their communities. Now, therefore, I, Jim Donchis, Mayor of the City of Nashua, and the Board of Aldermen, do hereby recognize, congratulate, and thank Grace Gonsalves, for her commitment and leadership on this date, which is December 26, 2024. So congratulations.
Thank you, Mayor. Reading minutes of previous meetings. There being no objection, I will declare the minutes of the special and regular Board of Aldermen meetings of November 26th and December 3rd, 2024 be accepted, placed on file, and the reading suspended. Communications requiring only procedural actions and written reports from liaisons.
None.
Period for public comment relative to items to be expected to be acted upon this evening. No one has signed up. Communications requiring final approval.
None.
Petitions.
None.
Nominations, appointments, and elections.
None.
Reports of committees. There being no objection, I will declare the report of the December 2nd Administrative Affairs Committee be accepted and placed on file. There being no objection, I'll declare the report of the December 4th, 2024 Finance Committee be accepted and placed on file. There being no objection, I'll declare the report of the December 3rd, 2024 Committee on Infrastructure be accepted and placed on file. Confirmation of mayor's appointments.
None.
Business at previous meetings. Resolution 24-109 and 24-115 will remain tabled. Resolution 24-115 will be heard at a special Board of Aldermen meeting on Tuesday, January 7th, 2025.
Unfinished business
Do you have another outline? And mine is a little off. It's way off. Thank you. Sorry about that. No, that's good. Okay. Unfinished no, where are we? Yeah, unfinished business resolutions. Sorry.
Second reading of R-24-111, authorizing a reinstatement and First Amendment to agreement with T-Mobile Northeast LLC regarding leased premises located at Holman Stadium at 64 Amherst Street.
Alderwoman Timmons.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for final passage of R-24-111.
Motion is for final passage. Is there discussion on that motion? Seeing none, would the clerk please call the roll?
Alderman O'Brien.
Yes.
Alderwoman Timmons.
Yes.
Alderman Thibodeau.
Yes.
Alderman Govea.
Yes.
Alderman Sullivan.
Yes.
Alderman Senate.
Yes.
Alderman Jettie.
Yes.
Alderman Tebow.
Yes.
Alderman Clee.
Yes.
Alderman Dowd.
Yes.
Alderman Wilshire.
Yes.
11 yeas, 0 nays.
That motion carries, and Resolution 24-111 is declared duly adopted.
Second reading of R-24-117, relative to the acceptance of grant funds pursuant to Contract Amendment Number 2 in the amount of $220,000 from the State of New Hampshire Department of Health and Human Services into the Public Health Infrastructure Grant Activity.
Alderman Senate.
Thank you, Madam President. I'd like to make a motion for final passage of R-24-117.
Motion is for final passage. Discussion on that motion? Seeing none, would the clerk please call the roll?
Alderman O'Brien.
Yes.
Alderwoman Timmons.
Yes.
Alderman Thibodeau.
Nay.
Alderman Govea.
Yes.
Alderman Sullivan.
Yes.
Alderman Senate.
Yes.
Alderman Jettie.
Yes.
Alderman Tebow.
Yes.
Alderman Clee.
Yes.
Alderman Dowd.
Yes.
Alderman Wilshire.
Yes.
10 yeas, 1 nay.
That motion carries, and Resolution 24-117 is declared duly adopted. Unfinished business ordinances.
None.
New business resolutions.
First reading of R-24-119, relative to the acceptance of $75,000 of anticipated grant funds and to accept and appropriate an additional $25,000 of unanticipated grant funds for a housing opportunity planning grant from the New Hampshire Housing Finance Authority.
Additional sponsors: Alderman O'Brien, Alderman Govea, Alderman Sullivan, Alderman Senate, Alderman Clee, Alderman Dowd, and myself. Given its first reading, I'll assign that to the Budget Review Committee and schedule a special Board of Aldermen public hearing on Monday, January 27th, 2025, at 7 p.m. in the Aldermanic Chamber.
First reading of R-24-120, authorizing the conveyance of portions of Dozer Road in map 114, lot 233.
Additional sponsors: Alderman Clee. Given its first reading, I'll assign that to the Planning and Economic Development Committee and the Planning Board. New business ordinances.
First reading of O-24-044, increasing the blind tax exemption in the disabled tax exemption and qualifications.
Additional sponsors: Alderman O'Brien, Alderman Senate, Alderman Jettie, Alderman Clee. Given its first, Alderwoman Timmons and myself, given its first reading. And Alderman Tebow, sorry, Alderman Tebow. Given its first reading, I'll sign that to the Personnel Administrative Affairs Committee. Period for general public comment. We have one person signed up, Lori Ortolano.
Lori Ortolano, 41 Berkeley Street. I want to address with you the Trust Fund Committee, the City Trust Fund Committee. Back in October, I decided I just wanted to see how much money was in the Capital Reserve Fund for the Performing Arts Center. It was set up by resolution in August of 2023, and I wasn't able to find it. So I worked with Ms. Calhoun, and she began looking into it, and she wasn't able to locate it the way she thought she could. And there was a whole series of right-to-knows going back and forth, and I want to explain to you, and you've heard this from other citizens who've come up here, my frustration with our right-to-know administrator. I filed a request after Mrs. Calhoun got a response from the city inquiring about the bank statements for this trust fund. And they responded saying your response to Ms. Calhoun, he wrote that the request for information on the Capital Reserve Fund by writing that the trust accountant keeps detailed monthly records of the balances. So I wrote, who is the trust accountant and what department do they work in? The response I received on December 23rd was RSA 91A4 requires that governmental records be reasonably described. Your request from December 19th at 8:19 p.m. doesn't reasonably describe a governmental record. I wasn't asking for a record. I was just asking for who the trust accountant was. And it wasn't labeled a right to know. This is just a question. This is a person that we should be able to identify and know. It then says the law requires a reasonably described document sought. I'm writing to seek clarification about your request to which records are being sought. If you'd like to describe your request in more reasonable and detailed manner, I would be happy to provide the documents. And then it says, in the spirit of cooperation, the trust accountant works in Financial Services Division and works for the Treasurer Tax Collector. But they don't provide me with who the trust accountant is.
1 minute.
So I ended up writing back, and now I had to do a formal right to know. And I had to ask for the job description of the person who serves as the trust accountant, so I'll get the name. And then I had to ask for the last paycheck paid to that trust accountant, so I can find out who it is. Does that make any sense? Something so simple that is going to require a series of back and forth right to knows? We cannot find the information on the trust account. The trial balance given today is a moving number that is now changed from a trial balance given a month ago. And we don't think, the city never appointed a trust, a board of trustees for the city's trust funds. We cannot find that board. Last night I looked in Concord, Manchester, Portsmouth, Keene. When you Google their websites and you do trust fund boards for the city's trust, comes right up as a committee and board of the city. That doesn't happen in Nashua. It should be under the boards and commissions. It's not there. So we can't find the money. And I think this needs to be investigated. Thank you.
Remarks by members of the board? Alderman O'Brien.
Thank you, Madam President. Unfortunately, I missed the last infrastructure meeting. I commend my vice chair over there, Alderman Dowd, for running in my abstention. But I understand a lot of things get tabled, but that doesn't mean that they don't exist. There's a lot of things that need to move along. There's contractors to be signed on, such as with the garage. There's movement going on with the police department training facility. So we're trying to squeeze it all in what the calendar is going to allow. So please pay attention to any emails come from our administrative assistant, because I imagine some of this might be quicker than some, but we're going to try to get everything back to normal and get this. You got to keep in mind, winter's ending. Some of these projects are shovel-ready to go. We just have to sign on and get the right people to direct it. So, thank you.
Did you mean the legislative manager?
Yes.
Okay.
I didn't mean for the
Thank you.
demotion, please. Excuse me.
Thank you. Anyone? Alderwoman Timmons.
Thank you, Madam President. I just want to wish everybody a happy Kwanzaa and a happy New Year.
Alderman Senate.
Thank you, Madam President. As I'm wont to do, I'd like to just start on a somber note and remark on the passing of Lucille Jordan, who is the president of Nashua Community College for over 25 years. Nashua Community College has grown a lot since I've been in Nashua. When I first moved here, there was a very small facility with very limited offerings, and it's really grown into a fantastic asset for the city here as a low barrier, low cost option for people looking for post-secondary education. I know people have gone through there to make really great careers for themselves. Some of them have even gone on to be Ward 7 aldermen. So very near and dear to my heart. And President Jordan certainly was an advocate both for the community college system and for the students there in Nashua. So she will be missed. Her leadership will be missed throughout the city, the multitude of things that she did in our community. And so I just wanted to extend my condolences to her friends and to her loved ones. On a happier note, Happy New Year. Extending my best wishes to all my colleagues and to everyone throughout the city for a very fruitful 2025. Thank you.
Thank you. Alderman Jettie.
Thank you. So I read in the minutes of the Board of Public Works meeting that Ward 5 resident Bill Toomey, who has had a long career with the Department of Public Works, is retiring. And I congratulate him on his long service, and I hope that he finds another way of serving the city. And I was impressed with Grace Gonzalez and her anti-smoking platform. When I first became an alderman, I tried to get this Board of Aldermen to raise the tobacco age from 18 to 21, and I received a lot of almost violent pushback from the citizens, and I couldn't convince this board to adopt that. But fortunately, the state legislature did raise the age to 21, and so that's in effect. So I wish her good luck in her accomplishing the goals of her platform. Thank you.
Alderman Clee.
Thank you, Madam President. I'd like to start with my first thing as an oops. I raised my hand for R 24-120, and that was an oops. I was thinking we were on 024-044, so I want to apologize that I do not want to sponsor R 24-120. So. Then I want to go to the Kid Governor Program. I'm very proud of the Kid Governor Program. I've had nothing to do with it, but my being proud is that Nashua seems to have a lot of students that have been part of the Kid Governor, with the very first Kid Governor having been here in Nashua. And ironically, the majority of Kid Governors that have been elected all seem to go around animal programs. With the two that were from Nashua had animal rights programs, and this last one here. Grace is a vaping and smoking, and to my colleague who wanted the 18 to 21, I was against Nashua wanting to do it, but I am definitely a very anti-smoker, and up in the State House, I strongly fought to get it to 21. We did not succeed at first. We had to slowly get it up from 18 to 19 to 20 to 21. And finally, we got it up to the 21, and it was hard. It was an uphill battle, but I do agree that I would love to get rid of it altogether here in the city, but it's not going to happen. And I fought against stopping vaping and so on within the city as well, as much as I hate it. But putting that aside, I wish everyone a Happy New Year. It's been a very rough, for many of us here in the Horseshoe, rough 2024. I hope a better 2025 for many of us here in the city, in the state, and in this country. So thank you.
Alderman Dowd.
Yes, very quickly. I don't know if we sent the picture out, I can't remember, but I just wanted everybody to know that there is grass again on Stella Stadium. The playing field is complete, other than putting the rubber pellets down, which I'm not sure they're going to do it. They might do it next week when it's 40 degrees or 50 degrees, but and they're working on the sidelines, but that field is totally in place and ready to go for the spring, so. And it's been very challenging with the weather, but they were completed it on time.
I just wanted to also send my condolences to the family of Lucille Jordan. She was certainly a great leader in this community and did a lot for the community college. So my kudos to all the work she did in her lifetime and the legacy she's left. Also, Bill Toomey. I've been friends with Bill Toomey for a long time. He's a really super guy. He coached my nephew in baseball for many, many years, followed my nephew up through playing baseball at Southern Maine University. Bill is a terrific guy. I mean, one of the best guys. Anyway, so I wish him well in his retirement. Committee announcements. Alderman O'Brien.
Thank you, Madam President. I'm sure I speak for all members of this board wishing the citizens the best of a happy new year. So therefore, being today, December 26, 2024, I so motion that the Board of Aldermen be adjourned.
You've heard the motion. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Alderman O'Brien.
Yes.
Alderwoman Timmons.
Yes.
Alderman Thibodeau.
Yes.
Alderman Govea.
Yes.
Alderman Sullivan.
Yes.
Alderman Sennett.
Yes.
Alderman Jettie.
Yes.
Alderman Tebow.
Yes.
Alderman Clee.
Yes.
Alderman Dowd.
Yes.
Alderman Wilshire.
Yes.
11 yeas, 0 nays.
We are adjourned at 7:58 PM, and I hope you feel better, Alderman Tebow.